Mike and Tom are washing their mouths out with soap because the Everything Sequel podcast contains explicit language. Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel podcast. This is a $10 Patreon edition. Today, we're talking The Naked Gun from the files of Police Squad. My name is Michael Shantz of the How Dare You Awards. Joining me, the man pushing my wheelchair right down the stairs, Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Say hi, Tom.
I'd known her for years. We used to go to all the police functions together. Oh, how I loved her. But she had her music. I think she had her music. She'd hanged out with the Chicago Male Chorus and Symphony. I don't recall her playing an instrument or being able to carry a tune. She was on the road 300 days of the year. In fact, I bought her a harp for Christmas. She asked me what it was. It's the same old story. Boy finds girl, boy loses girl, girl finds boy, boy forgets girl, boy remembers girl, girl dies in a tragic blimp accident over the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day.
Goodyear?
No, the worst. Thank you for joining in. I was hoping you would.
Yeah. I got you. I got your back. No matter how many stairs you throw me down. Well, here we are. It's our $10 episode. And we are talking The Naked Gun from the files of Police Squad. You forgot about that subtitle, but it's officially there.
Yeah. And I mean, it's crazy that I forgot about it because Police Squad is my favorite of all the Zucker Abrams properties.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling. I don't know that we're gonna gush at this as much as we did Airplane. But close.
Yes and no. I don't think it doesn't reach those heights, but at the same time, this is comedy filmmaking par excellence, whichever way you slice it.
And I guess when I first saw this movie, really the only complaint I had about it was that there are so many recycled bits from Police Squad. Verbatim.
Actually, I'll push back.
But they're still good bits.
I'll push back a little about that. I think there's only one or two that are recycled verbatim. There's some that are kind of augmented. There are others that are. There's kind of twists on the same situation.
Idea. Okay. It's been a while. You've just recently watched.
Yeah, I can only think of two or three.
Okay.
Moments, and I always feel like they're justified, that it's a solid enough bit that it can withstand the recycle.
Okay.
I think in both cases that's true. But I was surprised.
I remember that being my initial thought when I first saw it.
I was surprised, like seeing all of Police Squad again very recently, and then watching this. Actually, how seldom they do a full recycle as opposed to some kind of variation on the same premise.
Something on the side of your face, Al.
Yeah,
that's a bit they have in the.
Yeah, there's that. There's chalk drawings.
Chalk drawings. There's nothing to see here.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, the context is like.
Oh, you know what? One bit they wait until 2.5 with the
trash cans.
The trash cans, yeah.
I wish we were doing visual media because people will see I'm using my microphone as a trash can.
We're both ducking behind two trash cans right next to each other.
Yeah. But I mean, it's, I think over time I've learned to celebrate the differences from Police Squad. I think they're different comedic projects. And I think where I used to kind of balk at it not being as straight-faced a pastiche as Police Squad is of police procedurals, I've kind of come to realize that actually what the target has shifted as well from what we're talking about, a kind of espionage thrillers as much as police procedurals now. And so I actually really appreciate they make that adjustment because they're recognizing the difference between TV and cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, at the same time, they're kind of playing both sides of the street there. I think that there's an awareness that this was once a TV property, but now it's being translated to cinema, and it's like, what can you kind of do in between that, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting to me when you hire Ricardo Montalban, because he sort of personifies the toggle between those two things.
I had that exact note. He's one of
Yeah.
the biggest TV stars of the 80s, but he's Khan.
But he's also Khan, exactly, yeah.
So he's one of the biggest movie stars and TV leading men. And I have a lot to say about, again, I think where this will sound like our commentary on Airplane, at least from my perspective, is I have so much praise for the ensemble as a whole in this movie.
Me too.
How they work together as a cast is why the comedy is so effective.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because Priscilla Presley was literally just on Colbert's show last night because she's written a new book. And so they talked a little bit about the Naked Gun experience, and like so many people had to kind of be convinced to actually do the project, because she said, I'm not a comedian. I don't know why you want me. But this one, by the way, directed by David Zucker alone, so he has his compatriots. I didn't look. Did they help with writing?
Think so. Yeah.
Probably. I'd have to look that up. But it seems that these three people have an innate sense of what will work for the film they want to make.
But they recognize potential in actors to fit the tone of their movies in ways that I, as an outsider, can't see. Like, you know, she has.
Yeah, they wrote it together.
Priscilla Presley, obviously, she has acting experience up to this point. She was in Dallas, right? Or was it?
Yeah, Dallas was the big thing.
So, but there's moments in this movie where she executes the comedy so perfectly. I'm like, how do they know? Like, they always get it right. I mean, some of it is their direction, obviously, and writing, but they always get it right. There's never a flat-footed, misjudged performance in this movie either.
Right.
But all the way till we get to like Anna Nicole Smith, really is up until then. They just never miss a trick when it comes to casting someone who is ostensibly not a comedic actor but has a real gift for comedy.
But has the gift,
every
can
single
make
time.
it work.
Yeah. And right down, and again, we talked. I think when we did Naked Gun 2.5, we talked about what's the name of that guy, Anton, the character actor from In the Heat of the Night, and he's the brothel owner in Unforgiven, and he plays it heavy, and it's just like again, like you cast the guy who does the real, who would do it
normally,
in a dramatic movie, and they do that all,
and yet then he starts singing in the shower.
Yes. And then in this movie, not only Priscilla Presley, but you've got Tommy Moto from Presumed Innocent as the kind of surrogate shoe shiner guy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a really great example of how they come up with a variation on the same gag.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the pickpocket's not in here at all, but they have an equivalent scene, but it's a completely different comic premise. Anyway, we'll get there, but
yeah.
I think, every time I go back to this, I'm like, they really thought long and hard about translating this into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like most TV spin-off movies.
Right.
In that respect. It feels like it shifted the goalposts of what it was pastiching in the right way.
I was going to say, in the right way. Well, we're talking about The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. It's a 1988 film with 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
Now, we've already...
Conspiracy. Also, just...
Did you listen to that podcast?
I did. I wish I hadn't. We shouldn't talk about it now. Well, I was like...
Yeah, we don't...
I found myself agreeing with the Rotten Tomatoes editor, but in her vigorous defense of her system, she basically admitted it was statistically redundant. Her only defense was, this isn't real data. I'm like, okay, but essentially you've eaten your own tail there a little bit.
There were things that I didn't know. I didn't know that 60% of reviewers give it fresh or rotten on their own, which I thought was interesting.
Clearly, the guy who wrote the article hadn't done any research.
No, that was what the amazing part. He could have just the number of times he had to say, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah, it's so funny. Like podcasting is an audio medium, but I guarantee you, he's drinking an iced tea from a plastic cup when he was.
Why?
Doing it. I don't know. I just know.
Okay.
The way he talks. It's like he talks in between sips of some kind of matcha iced tea drink that he's continually taking the plastic lid off and supping and putting back. That's just that voice and that person are the same.
Well, I'll put that tangent aside and tell you that this movie is directed by David Zucker. We've already discussed him, but
the only thing you know less about the music, caffeine.
Well, I'll have caffeine in the form of soda.
Yeah.
But tea, coffee, no.
No.
So he directed Top Secret and Ruthless People with his friends. He directed the sequel to this movie, Basketball, The Boss's Daughter. We talked about the scary movies. And then this was interesting. The one thing I saved for this episode
good on you.
Was that he has an upcoming credit. In pre-production, we have this, I don't even think it's just Star of Malta.
What could that possibly be?
You'd think I would have looked that up. I didn't.
Is it a religious movie?
Yeah, I don't know. We could find out in short order.
It's probably a ship. It's probably a seafaring movie.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Oh, wait. Now oh, no, that's for writing. He has 2 credits for writing coming up.
Oh.
The other writing credit is Spaghetti versus Noodle.
The age-old rivals meeting. Is this like...
Yeah, meeting once again.
Is this like Freddy versus Jason?
Oh, wait.
Is it more of a spaghetti movie or a noodle movie?
I think this might be the movie I saw the preview for. That I talked about in the last episode. Hang on. Fresh out of prison for accidentally killing an opponent, ex-boxer, Joe Medina pursues aspiring actress Harriet after an accidental murder. Assuming another identity, he evades law and mobsters through twists and deaths. Well, I don't know if it's a comedy or not.
Well, they know.
This says star or a crime drama. So this is not the
I think he's done a ghost
preview
on this because
of the movie I saw. Yeah,
this movie's full of noir parody, as was the original Police Squad.
Yeah.
So presumably, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You could just make a regular noir movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, this movie, The Naked Gun, had a budget of $14.5 million, an opening weekend of $9.3, in the USA and the world, $78.7 million. Certified hit.
Good. I mean, yeah, and I'm glad it was a hit because they must have been rolling the dice, well, when was Police Squad? 82, 83, something like that.
Yeah, I mean it was.
So,
and it's not like it did well, that show, so it wasn't like it was in the public conscious. Yeah.
6 episodes. So they're really rolling the dice, and yet it really kind of paid off. It became one of the sort of leading parody franchises out there, but
yeah,
it could have just been a complete afterthought of, like the many spin-offs that are just kind of consigned to the trash can of history. But the opposite happened. It became more famous than Police Squad. It became more famous than its source material. And again, I think that's good because it was trying to do something different from its source material. So you can sort of go back and have both. Mm-hmm. Don't feel like they're at odds with each other.
No, yeah.
One is just a development of the other in a particular direction. It's taken me a long time to get to that because I've always been slightly snobbish about how this kind of the purity of a police squad versus the kind of slightly tackier version here.
Okay.
But I've learned to kind of appreciate it in its own right and as its own project, and that's really helped.
I have the most vivid of memories of when I saw this movie because I know that I saw it on Christmas Day.
In the theater?
In the theater.
Oh, wow.
And this must have been before going to the movies on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day was popular, because that movie theater was dead. Nobody there but us. But my dad and his girlfriend were going to a rehab center to visit her son who was in rehab. And we were like, well, we don't want to do that. So my brothers and I went and saw this movie on Christmas Day.
You have chosen wisely.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's a bit like 3D. It comes and goes. Like holidays used to be the time when you would release movies, and they stopped being, and then it became, then summer took over, and now it's kind of gone.
It's both, basically.
Yeah.
But normally what you would not get is this movie on Christmas. It came out before Christmas, December 2nd. But
going for the Christmas crowd.
But going for Christmas crowds. But normally what you get is the Oscar bait movies in December.
Oh.
And not this kind of fare.
This is more worthy of an Oscar than those movies.
I agree with you.
But we're long past the point where they gave Oscars to comedy movies, so
it's the same. No, I guess it's the year before that they give Kevin Kline an Academy Award for A Fish Called Wanda.
Okay, but not the like best movie, best picture.
No, yeah.
Since what was the last comedy to win a best picture Oscar?
I don't even know.
Forrest Gump. Is that a comedy?
I don't think they consider it a comedy.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, comedy is just
Parasite?
Undervalued.
Green Book?
All right. Yeah, right. We'll get on with it. Gulf Western Paramount logo.
Also the Gulf region of the world.
And then I was going to say, mixed with, it reminded me so much of Pink Panther.
And Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Cannonball Run 2. It's just another 80s comedy movie beginning with morning prayers. It's kind of, I was thinking about this, it's like, it's a region of the world that's ripe for parody, and it's just a kind of region of the world that America's obsessed with from like the late 70s until the early 90s, but from the invasion of Afghanistan to the first Gulf War.
Gulf War, yeah.
But particularly comedy filmmakers want to use it as a backdrop, Pizzelle. Even though that seems totally illogical given what's going on politically.
Is this a, by the way, is this a joke? At the beginning of this movie, having the crotch walk straight into camera.
Why I made that note,
because it made me laugh.
It did. It made me laugh too. They I think they're starting on a really fine line between comedy and drama, right? They, again, like the kind of traditional Middle Eastern music that appears over the Paramount logo.
Sure.
It's like that's specifically not comedic. They want you to think you're watching a CIA thriller. We get the morning prayers, which again, movies about Islamic terrorism. That's how they begin. Except in the 1980s, when you would go, oh, it's a comedy movie starting.
Yeah.
But the shot sequence to me is sort of like, yes, you've got the crotch in the camera, but it's also like, then they sort of class it up, and then it starts to look like, like the beginning of Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger or that kind of movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the director's showing that he understands the quality version of the genre fiction you're parodying. And again, an attempt to try and emulate that as much as possible until you reveal that you're a parody of it.
Sure.
But here's what, I mean, we talked a lot when we did the Naked Gun sequels about politician lookalikes. And the convention begins right here. I mean, when they start making...
Hot and heavy.
When they start making Naked Gun movies, these lookalike agencies must have gone bankrupt overnight.
Just gone under, right? Yeah.
Because you got a whole table of them here.
Yeah.
And,
you got Gorbachevs and Ayatollahs and Gaddafis.
And it's kind of it's an interesting moment in history, isn't it? George Bush has just become president.
Mm-hmm.
Gorbachev is kind of...
Well, he's been elected, but he hasn't taken office, I guess.
We mean Gorbachev? Oh, Bush.
No, Bush.
Yeah. Gorbachev is kind of about to, bring down the Berlin Wall.
Mm-hmm.
They're skewering the joke here is that everyone loves him, but it's all an act, and he's worse than Stalin. So he's they're skewering.
I have them believing I'm a nice guy.
Skewering politicians of the day is definitely the hot on the agenda.
Who was the guy? I love the line about I want to strip their entrails from them until they include us in the peace process.
Is it Arafat?
I don't know. I don't remember.
There's a Yasser Arafat, and I'm not sure who his equivalent was in Israel at the time. It's kind of like that. It's quite, it's kind of at a time of, political fear.
Mm-hmm.
Both because you've got what's going on in the Soviet Union, you've got Iran, you've got Iraq. They're making light of all these threats to global security.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And it's so interesting. It's so interesting that that's the tack they take, and things are twice as bad now. And the latest Naked Gun movie decided to
didn't do with that at all.
Decided to go very safe with that. It's just kind of interesting. Like, there's a lot of chutzpah here to sort of like go, how we might all die tomorrow. Well, let's just have a laugh about it.
Well, if you have a laugh about it today, you might be thrown in jail or taken off.
Your movie might be
might be, your movie might not see the light of day.
Your studio might be forced to collapse. That's true. Yeah. That's true. The fight and when the fight sequence starts, it's kind of our first sign of moving beyond pastiche, which was all Police Squad was. There was no parody in it. But here we're going like full We go full slapstick. Looking in the camera straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
Lots of Three Stooges references with all the different kinds of hits.
The poke in the eyes and the... Yeah.
You set out their stall early as being different from Police Squad and also Airplane, right? You're we're sort of doing something that's more broad, more physical.
We're doing a variation on the thing we created.
Yes, that goes back to the Marx Brothers, goes back to Chaplin, goes back to Keaton, rather than this kind of pastiche art that Airplane and Police Squad kind of created.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's kind of what this scene. I don't know. Was this a reshoot, or
what, this cold open? No, I don't think so.
It does feel different from the rest of the movie. But,
it does, maybe, I don't know, maybe because you have that joke after this about, that's why I took my vacation there.
Yes, yeah.
So maybe you're setting store, maybe it was different on purpose.
Yeah, true. Well, then we go into the title sequence, which, again, like I spoke in the last episode, how Police Squad was specifically modeled on the title sequence of M Squad, and what they've done here very cleverly is they've cinematized it. So they've taken one of the images, which is of the siren, and they've made it this kind of
running bit,
visually adept journey through the world of stock footage.
So good.
Yeah, it's also
and everything about it is pitched just at the right tenor. Like, I love everything about where we go and the music as well.
And also, their liberation from the confines of television. Like, you get to show a little bit of nudity when he's chasing the women out of when the siren's chasing the women
The
out
locker
of the shower.
room.
And while Police Squad was kind of always sending up the conventions of police procedural television,
Yeah.
here I think they've opened it up to sort of taking pot shots at real world policing, like ending at the donut shop.
Yeah.
I think
right.
is like that was not necessarily part of the original design to question policing, but actually there's a few moments in this movie where we talk about police violence and
Yeah.
illegal acts committed by police officers, and so I think the tone of it is changed. It's kind of emboldened and become sort of more about. It's become kind of emboldened in how explicit and irreverent it is.
Yeah.
Compared to what Police Squad did, which was taking on a very specific era of television. So
right.
much so you cannot watch an episode of Dragnet ever again after watching Police
Right.
Squad.
Yeah. Exactly.
You cannot.
That's the one I kept thinking of.
You can't unsee Police Squad if you rewatch Dragnet post Police Squad. There's just it's like literally I've tried to watch half an episode. I was like, I can't do it. There's no way I can take this seriously anymore.
Well, as we crawl out of the credits in this, after the cold open, we open with one O.J. Simpson, Detective Norberg.
Detective Norberg, yeah. Something I've never noticed before, and again, I think shows that they think about comedy filmmaking on so many levels, that what you're hearing on the wiretap is a really pitch perfect parody of clunky exposition dialogue. Like they're telling him everything he needs to know in the wiretap about what's like all the evidence. So there's this bedrock of genre pastiche there, and I just have to say it and have to separate the man from the artist, but
From the monster.
truly high level slapstick from O.J. Simpson.
Listen, the rest of this movie is pretty good, but this movie starts off on such a high, it's hard to get back up there because his physical comedy in this moment and everything that he does is fucking amazing.
And it goes back to, that like lecture I talked about that I went to about the art of comic acting. This is another great sequence of this because he's telling the audience what he's about to do right before he does it in every move, like every time he moves. And it's also sort of letting the audience know that how deep your comedy bench is out of the gates, right? This is where we're starting. Right. This is our like third tier character. So I talked in the last episode about insert lines, and this is in this scene you have one of the two perfect insert lines in this movie
of all time, if we're talking about the same thing.
In the middle of all this chaos, O.J. Simpson suddenly says, "Oh no!"
The paint.
Yeah. Oh no!
He leans up against the door and says, "Oh no!"
And it's his intonation is dramatic, and that's what makes it funny. Like it reminds me of. I don't think it's a specific reference to this, but when Glenn Ford has a heart attack in Superman the movie, doesn't he go, "Oh no"? And it's the same cadence. And we don't need to give him credit as a human being, but you do need to give him credit as a comic actor.
You have to give him credit as a performer,
and he's not from a performance background.
Yeah. Right.
I think there is something though about his natural showmanship.
I was gonna just say that exact same thing. His natural ability. He obviously had athletic talents. But even by this time, 1988, he's deep into commercials,
right? Being
a broadcaster, being on the sidelines, talking live on television. Like he's built up a certain portion of his skills that obviously translate to what he's doing here. He has some sort of innate natural ability as a performer.
And they're trading on it because you got his natural showmanship. We know retrospectively, he's a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
When he's not punching your head off.
When he's
He's
not...
a
Yeah, when he's not stabbing
people
you.
killer and a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And of course his athleticism as well, right? He's showing off his ability to do this is a show of athleticism. So
Because it's all one take, too. I love that.
Yeah.
Camera just follows him.
So, overall you realize this is totally within his wheelhouse, but still, I think to coax it out of him is really special.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to put himself out there in this way as well, I mean, like, he has to kind of make a fool of himself, and, that's hard for people from a sports background to do sometimes. But he's happy to play the fool in this movie, but he takes it seriously.
Yeah, this might not please you, but I heard a great story. Bill Hader was randomly telling some story, and it was about to LeBron James, and it was about kind of being, I think, working at Saturday Night Live and being with some of the richest people in the world who would be frugal and kind of cheap and like split checks when you went out to dinner with them or that sort of thing. And he was just like, that was weird. And it was LeBron James when they were shooting the Trainwreck movie, right? That's the one he's in?
Yeah.
And he said, we should do that. That would be really funny if I was like a real cheap bastard. And so anyway, it goes along with what you were saying about, like, if they're game to do that, it makes a big difference for what you can do comedically.
Yeah, speaking of cheapness, do you remember from the Made in America documentary when he was stealing those cable hookups?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he had all those illegal cable hookups. For some reason, I don't know why. I mean, that's the least of his crimes, and yet that really stands out to me as something that
if it was left just to that.
Well, like, having been set free for murder that's really the last criminal act that you would participate in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and here and in this middle of the scene we get the interestingly, the almost Kirk-like introduction of Ricardo Montalban out of the shadows. And everything that you mentioned about him toggling between TV and cinema. One of my overall notes, and some of this is kind of informed, I don't want to talk too much about the reboot, but sort of seeing this through the prism of that, I can't help but do that. I think what this movie reminds me is that the villains in the Naked Gun movies, or in this kind of a movie, need to be responsive to the humor, not in charge of creating the humor. And I think
Montalban does
perfectly
pitch perfect work in terms of how he deals with Leslie Nielsen.
Yes, exactly. It's all responsive, and at no point is he called upon to lead the comedy. Right. It has all responsive. He's always the straight man, and he's always perfect.
I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of this cast, every time I watch these movies, more and more I think about what these movies would be without George Kennedy. Actually, I saw an example of that in the reboot. But right from the moment where Frank's at the microphone and George Kennedy's like, first of all, like, it starts with George Kennedy looking for him at the airport. Yeah. He's not just a straight man in this movie, but he's a perfect straight man when he needs to be. Right. The way he's trying to stop Frank from
speaking at the microphone,
from humiliating himself.
And you know what's funny about that moment? One of my notes for that moment was, I feel like if that moment was going on today, that bit would have gone on much longer.
Yeah. Oh, it's ruthlessly timed. Yeah. The cutaway, as soon as he interrupts, you get the cutaway to Weird Al Yankovic, which is it's so funny. Like, because I don't know what was the name of the guy who was in commercials, who was in Airplane.
Joe Isuzu. David Leisure is the actor's name.
Yeah, because it sort of feels like they find this kind of community of comedy allies around them. And I think having the Weird Al Yankovic cameo is sort of a nod to, we're swimming in the same waters, you and I.
Yeah, right.
You're doing these parody songs. We're out there making parody movies.
Right.
You can be part of this, and we'll make you a running joke in these movies. Right. throughout all of these movies, in fact.
We didn't talk about it, but I love it when OJ busts into that room and he says, "Throw down your guns."
Mm-hmm.
There's 17 people pointing guns at him, and just one guy throws his
Yeah,
gun down.
and they all look at him. It's
They
great.
all look at him.
Yeah. Kennedy's timing is just perfect.
Pitch perfect. It's
And
right.
he,
It's great.
he never, again, he's got that unawareness of Peter Graves. He never lets in. He's lets on. He's part of the comedy. I mean, the whole stuff about he's got a 50-50 chance, but
It's only a 10% chance
a
of that.
10% chance of that. And his expression doesn't change at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I saw the San Onofrio tits this week twice, and driving back and forth to LA.
Great.
So it's a great. I mean, visual concept humor, but also great location scouting
Oh yeah.
to get those two.
Everywhere I go, something reminds me of her.
I don't know why he particularly. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's a stupid comedy movie, but he's wherever he landed, he's going in the wrong direction. But to get to LA, but
Yeah.
but also is the luggage joke of the dragging the luggage behind them,
And they take their time. They don't let you know right away.
Mhm. Visual concept humor really strong in these early scenes, and then we go the hospital scene. We go. It's all about
Fucking amazing.
comedy of miscommunication and crossed wires. Like it's
Yeah.
Suddenly it turns into linguistic humor. Everyone's talking at cross purposes. Everything Norberg is saying is being misunderstood.
It's misinterpreted.
Right down to the heroin. It's like, well, that's a
That's
tall
gonna
order.
be a
You gotta
pretty tall
gotta
order,
give me a few
Norberg.
days on that one. Which again, that sort of police satire that we didn't
Yeah.
necessarily have in Police Squad.
Nurse,
It's
get this man some drugs. I love, one of my favorite bits is when they just walk into the room and he looks up at George Kennedy and says, "Where's Nordberg?" He's standing right in front of me. He's right here, Frank.
yeah, and Kennedy has such good judgment as an actor about when to kind of be the audience surrogate in the scene.
Yeah.
And when to participate in the madness.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows exactly when to switch that. Because sometimes he's like basically going, "Look at this idiot," and
Yeah.
then other times, he's invested in what's going on comedically.
There's a delightful obliviousness which Nielsen plays this scene,
Yeah,
because I love the moment when they're saying, whenever he's better, he's welcome back to Police Squad. And Nielsen says, unless he's a drooling vegetable, but I think that's obvious. And she bursts into tears
Yeah.
again. And he looks at George Kennedy like, well, what's her problem?
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe I've told you this story before, but my first year as a student teacher, I had a kid in my class who was autistic and just really didn't read facial clues whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And one morning he looks at a girl, and we were doing kind of group work, so I think it was just the three of us, and he just kind of blurts out, "Your face looks funny." And she bursts into tears. And that kid looked at me the exact same way that Leslie Nielsen looked at George Kennedy.
Yeah,
And I had to stop myself from laughing in the classroom because I immediately flashed to this moment. It was really hard.
Yeah, I bet. No, it is. Yeah, it is. That's. I'd never put that spin on it. It is. It's just, the comedy is based around the inability to read social cues. That she's in tears and he's still gonna spell everything out, right?
Ugh.
And again, it goes. It's sort of like the launch pad of that autistic humor you get in Guardians of the Galaxy and Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. And of course, the button of the scene too is not a man on this force. What does he say? We'll rest for a single minute until we catch this killer. Now let's go get a bite to eat.
Yeah, I just love that. It's great as just how well he and Kennedy
That's
work
great
together.
verbal comedy.
Because of course, Kennedy's a surrogate for Alan North. He did. Alan North did the series with him, the police squad. So this is a brand new partnership, but they do such a good job of seeming like they've always worked together.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. That's not easy whether you're doing comedy or drama. But they don't look like they've just met, like perhaps two other
Right.
equivalent characters in a recent reboot might have not looked like they necessarily worked together before. Well, and then we go into the City Hall scene, the press conference. Nancy Marchand, Mama Soprano.
Pre-Sopranos, yeah.
Pre-Mama Soprano, but post... Well, she bookends the history of television because she played the lead in the TV drama Marty with Rod Steiger. The one-off play that became the movie and launched Paddy Chayefsky's career and kind of created American television drama. She played the lead in that. She was replaced for the movie. But again, like, she's television. She's a television actress, so, you know, they're kind of
But also, I think
reminding the audience that this comes from television.
And then on top of that, like we've said of so many actors, she's playing it totally straight, but she's funny in this movie.
It's so funny because that's exactly what David Chase said about her auditioning for The Sopranos. They like he got like Livia, like he said, you know, it was just like auditioning old ladies day after day, and they were all playing it like the witch from Snow White.
Sure.
And she was the only one who was completely matter of fact the entire time, and that's how he knew she was the
right one.
Yeah, she was the, and it's like, and with real venom as well, like the way all that stuff that they have in The Sopranos when she's being admitted to the
hospital
or
the
retirement community.
Yeah, the home. Yeah,
the retirement community. It's what's he say? It's a nursing. This is a old women babbling like idiots, and she just stares down the woman admitting her. Chase said that all came from her in the audition. Like she would just stare them all down. So yeah, and you know this trope of the kind of female police boss.
Yeah,
she kind of creates it, and then you know in apart from the third movie, which doesn't have this figure. There's always there's always this boss lady in command, and it all comes from her. So, yeah, really, and it's so funny because when we talked about Airplane, I talked about I can never not think about watching the plane crash on a in-flight movie.
Yeah,
I think this is another kind of observational humor high. Anytime I'm mic'd or I have a walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
I think about this if ever I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put the walkie-talkie down here. I'm not going to take it with me in today. If I'm mic'd, I'm taking the mic off because of this very scene.
Yeah.
So it's kind of become more than just a joke. It's sort of become a cultural touchstone of this is the go-to example. I mean, and it's happened in real life as well. Like, there's notable that people have had a hot mic and taken it into the bathroom.
Yeah.
In real life.
Actually, friend of the show, Matt Aldrich, his wife, Kristen, told me one of the most sublime stories I ever heard for a high school production, I think, of Into the Woods, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, no.
And during a break, a young lady goes into the bathroom, and you just hear everything spilling out of her. And then you hear wiping and all of that.
Oh.
And then you hear the standing up, and you hear a voice say, "Corn? When did I eat corn?"
Wow.
Sublime.
I was going to say, the one time I didn't think about it, I think you were the victim of that. Like, I think you heard me pee because I didn't effectively mute my mic.
Mute the Zoom. Yeah.
So, it's like, it's always, this scene is always with me.
I think I told you once, I said to you, "Oh, I gotta pee." And then I didn't hit Zoom. And I was like, well, I don't want to walk all the way back over. Then I was like, okay, I'll sit on the toilet so that he doesn't... Like, I had this whole thing that I kind of kept going, but...
It's...
Well, on that note, why don't we take our first break and come right back?
This has made you want to go for a pee, right, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm muting my microphone now. Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And we're back. Tom and I are here discussing The Naked Gun from the files of Police Squad, the 1988 film directed by David Zucker. When last we left.
Well, I just a little more to say about the peeing, the mic peeing scene.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, influential in cinema as well. I mean, Austin Powers basically steals this entire gag.
Yeah.
So it's influenced other comedy filmmakers.
There's a couple of things that happen that are so wonderful to me. It's the shuffling of his feet, and then the stretching and the kind of like frantic that his hands does behind his head. That really get me every time I watch it. It never fails to get a laugh out of me.
There's a cutaway in the middle of it where you see a family watching it at home, and I love it. It's this thing that movies do where they're kind of jealous of TV and how it gets broadcast live in front of groups of people in their homes, and it's kind of like wants to create this idea of co-presence even in the movie.
Yeah.
And this is where I have my notes about what you were saying earlier about what I've kind of euphemistically termed inherited running gags.
Mm-hmm.
The bad parking, I mean...
Yeah.
That's
the bad parking, nothing to see here.
Though. You wouldn't not put that in here.
Yeah.
It worked. I mean, it's just every single time when he knocks the guy off the pier with his parking.
I like that it escalates, too, because soon he'll knock over a whole side of the building worth of workers.
Yeah, exactly. There's escalation. There's room to build on the joke.
Yeah.
I also noticed, as an avid Seinfeld viewer, one of the two rubberneckers that are looking into the water to see if they can see anything with the guy with the loudhailer right in the face is Ruthie Cohen, the cashier from Seinfeld.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't notice. That's good.
Who sort of is an extra, but she became a character in one episode where George thinks that she's shortchanged him.
Yeah.
And then he sees her riding a horse in the park, and he's like, "She's using my money to." And that's the episode where the guy, his old neighbor thinks he has mental health issues.
When he wants him to go to anger management.
Yeah, not anger management.
Literally just thinking of that episode just yesterday.
Listen, Pinhead.
They want me to bottle it all up. It
makes me so mad. He plays that so As an angry person, I can relate to that episode. No, it's the one. Too. It's the one where he meets his neighbor, and her dad has had mental health issues, and she sees the same thing in George. But obviously, the situation contribes to make him look more insane than he is.
Yeah,
and he thinks that he's obsessed with Lloyd Braun, and there being a conspiracy. Anyway. And then variations on joke from the series. So money for information. We had the
Tommy Molto scene is so fucking funny.
It's hilarious. They both play it so well. It's such a great comic idea. I can't believe I haven't seen it.
I borrowed $20.
And also the floating chalk outline on the water. They never did that in the TV series. So that's an escalation. That's a variation.
Fucking funny. Don't they have one in the series where it's on a wall?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely had the one where it's we see it later in this movie where it's the hieroglyphic Egyptian outline. So that's a really solid scene.
The next thing you know, he's going to see Montalban. And he has that
Japanese
case of
fighting fish.
That case of cigars. Cuban? No, Dutch Irish.
It's the art of comic acting. You show the audience what you're going to do before you do it.
Yeah.
Here's the samurai. They've got the perfect spokesman.
Here's the impervious to everything but water.
The samurai pet, the fighting fish. You're like, okay, so I know what the jokes are going to be.
I think he's going to stab that fish.
But Montalban doesn't look like he knows what's coming, and that's what makes it great.
That's what's great, yeah.
And there are still, as you mentioned already, there are still verbal gags going on in the dialogue. And again, the confidence of a filmmaker, a comedy filmmaker, to go, with what we're doing visually in this scene, the audience are mostly going to miss these jokes, but we're going to put them in anyway. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're not skimping on the verbal humor just because
Right.
there's a lot of visual comedy going in this. So even if the audience doesn't hear half these jokes, I love that they still stack the scene with those.
Sure.
And the Foley work's magnificent through this scene. I mean, through the whole film, but particularly good in this scene.
Absolutely.
And then we're introduced to Priscilla Presley.
When he shakes his hand with all the water.
And again, like Priscilla Presley, she comes down the stairs, and it's sort of like, you know, not just
Mhm.
that she's not just the star of Dallas, she's Elvis Presley's wife. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like ex-wife, obviously, but you know, it's pop culture stardom. It's not just it's celebrity.
It's
Again,
more like pop culture royalty.
she's pop culture royalty. You
Because
know,
he was the king.
right? She's the queen. She's the
Yeah.
queen of rock and roll. In the same way Camilla Parker Bowles is the Queen of England, which still doesn't seem quite right to me.
Yes, yeah.
Technically, she's the Queen.
Technically, but
We know, but yeah. It's bad enough he's the king.
you'll be in charge of nothing.
Even less than your husband.
Yeah.
The
But like
hard-boiled voiceover.
what I like about her entrance, I was just gonna say what I like about her entrance though is you undercut the idea of the femme fatale and the beautiful woman as she takes a tumble down the stairs.
And he watches every step. Like
Yeah.
It's off-screen humor, right? That's an art. That's an art to do that. She's so good.
She is.
I hope she doesn't get overshadowed by Pamela Anderson, because Pamela Anderson was walking in her footsteps.
Yes.
What she was doing in this movie. Not to say anything about her performance. I think that was a wonderful performance. But she's getting a lot of traction at the moment, and I hope it doesn't come at Priscilla Presley's expense, because that mold was already cast.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the whole everything with the falling down the stairs, and then the beaver as well.
I think about baseball. Her reaction to that was like proof positive of how good she is at this kind of comedy.
They're sort of like it's like Bogey and Bacall Para, but they find the comedy within the rhythm of the speech as well, like with lines like that. Like
you were just mentioning about the verbal comedy that they're not going to let pass because they're blink and you miss them. But when he says, maybe I could thank you, we could go out to dinner. I know a place with great Viking food.
Yeah. I'll just
Fucking
put
Viking food.
And then what follows is a completely dramatic scene between Montalban and Presley.
Yes.
And, you know, it reminds me that this purely dramatic scene, like, you have to buy into the reality of what they're parodying.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy into the fictional world. And I guess this is where, you know, the scary movies and the mafia of this world go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you can buy into those as coherent fictional worlds in the way you can with Airplane or Naked Gun.
Sure.
Or Police Squad. And it's scenes like this that are like, okay, what's our bridge? What's like our dramatic bridge? Like, this is a completely gratuitous scene for a comedy, but necessary to tell this story, right? We've got
to tell the narrative story, right?
And it's like the confidence to do that without peppering in jokes. Just going that's not the purpose of this scene. This is to take us from one scene to another.
Mm-hmm.
And also saving up for this riot of a scene coming up in the headquarters.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
there's that airbag scene too.
Oh yes, as he arrives to this. Yeah, as he arrives.
When he
to the
arrives
station.
at the station,
and he's firing at his own car down the street.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite looks.
Quizzical looks. Yeah,
the quizzical.
Yeah,
looks.
I don't mind.
This is one of my
all.
favorite ones. When he takes out his gun, shoots the car, blows the car up, and as it's, I just love that visual shot of the car, air balloons coming out of the windows, back of the car on fire, driving by itself around the corner, and we cut back to Leslie Nielsen, and he goes, "All right, so everybody just get the names of everyone here.
Well, he does. It does it in a different order because he sort of says, "Did anyone?" Like while he still believes it's not his car, then he realizes it's his car, and then he's sort of like, "Okay, just keep an eye out for
yeah."
And he goes in. So even the joke is really well paid, and also police incompetence and violence. Right, that's the punchline.
Yeah, exactly right.
And again, that's new. That's not what we did in Police Squad.
Mm-hmm.
There was a reverence for police work that they just don't have here. But when they get into the building, again, this is a really great adjustment because for those of you who haven't seen Police Squad, Ted, Police Squad scientist, was kind of a
He's the Q.
Well, he is now, but in the TV series, he was a variation on the public information film scientist. Because the beginning of
that's right. Yeah.
Every scene would come in and he'd be talking to a child about science.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know where they found this guy. I feel like they took him straight out of a public information film.
Yeah.
Because there's never has there been a better piece of casting. But this is a movie.
Like Bill Nye's brother.
It's got an espionage element. We've got to make him the Q of the series. So I like that they find a cinematic precedent for this TV character. It's alarming how much this is like what Q's actually doing in the Bond films of this era, because the reverse spray graffiti wall, how is that different from the ghetto blaster in Living Daylights?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the Uzi that comes out of a boombox. So, and it also, I think, it allows for them to, because they're doing something different with Ted. They can just repeat the joke with Al and the banana in his face.
But before that, I love the bit, because they don't draw attention to it, where Ted and George Kennedy walk through a door.
That's definitely a
recycled bit, right?
I think so.
But there's no wall, and he just walks on the other side.
I mean, that's the essence of Police Squad. It was sort of like, you're how are you on a set and in a real place at the same time. Yeah. It's like not physically possible to do that. This is my second of the two perfect insert lines. When when Ted shoots George Kennedy with a dart in his neck.
Ted, why?
And as he goes over, Ted, why? Again, you've got to write these things 2 words, 3 words, any more than that, and you blow it.
Or not Ted, it's just Ed, I think, right?
Oh, is it? I thought it was Ted. Oh, it's Ed.
Is it Ted
you're right, it's Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the insert lines are perfectly phrased, perfectly edited.
So funny. 2 words.
And Al and the banana, I'll go to the mattresses on. Like
it's funny.
They can steal from their own canon. They if they want to do their own fan service, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a visual enough gag that it works in a movie too.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, and this is one of my favorite visual bits, because when George Kennedy. They look kind of alike. When Kennedy...
I'd say George Kennedy looks a bit more like RFK Jr.
You're right.
Except, he probably...
If all he did was work out and had tapeworms in his brain...
Yeah.
George Kennedy would have looked like Bozo Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say was... when
Kennedy the clown.
Yeah, when George Kennedy gets back up and Ed is having Drebin look through the fucking microscope, and he goes, well, I can't see anything. Use your open eye, Frank.
And again, all one take, so it has to be timed and choreographed so that he's unconscious. He's unconscious, just enough to justify the amount of time they said he'd be out for, but in enough time for him to get up and do the next gag. It's like exquisitely timed comedy where everyone is pulling their weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's classic ensemble work. You spoke in the last episode. You spoke about the music sting when you see the plane for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good one here when they say we've got 24 hours to clear Norberg, and suddenly action cinema music.
Right.
Again, like when then Pap Smear returns,
Yeah.
It turned out he wasn't just. It's a very Bond kind of idea. Like you have an incidental character in the cold open who later becomes a part of the main action.
Right.
It's very Tomorrow Never Dies. Or so I don't know. But again, a very serious scene. Like not at all
Right.
played for laughs. It's you know.
Although Ludwig does find that speared Japanese fighting fish right before he shows up.
Oh sure, yes. But it's like the sensory induced hypnosis. The audience have actually got to get their heads around it in order for it to pay off later.
Yeah,
comedy.
right. They just need to know how it works.
So what we get here is the thriller version of this that is like pretty authentic.
I mean, yeah, because she pulls the trigger on a gun that does not have bullets, but she points it at Papschmier and her own head.
Yeah.
And then drops the gun. There's not a lot of even nuanced comedy in that. It's just kind of all horrific.
No, yeah, it's kind of it's knowing when you do a story beat and knowing when you do a comedy beat. I think,
yeah.
And you don't need to do both at the. If you can do the both at the same time, all the better. If you don't need to, then don't, because the audience needs to understand this idea
right.
in order for the rest of the movie to take place. And then we go to the hospital where there's a thwarted assassination attempt of Norberg.
It's one of my favorite bits whenever he gets a pillow thrown in his face.
Well, that's the best part of going back to these movies after, post O.J. Simpson murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you can comfortably enjoy seeing him hurt.
Yeah, right. Like he gets thrown up against the wall. And
Guilt-free.
Maybe that hurt.
Guilt-free.
Okay with
it's guilt-free violence, basically.
Yeah.
And which leads into a car chase sequence, which,
I'd forgotten about this car chase sequence.
Which, he gets into, he does a classic follow that car.
Teen driver.
And it's a driving school, so I love it. Basically, they're like, how can we do a straight car chase and then just throw a comic spanner in it?
Yeah.
And this is what they've got. And then they've also, the other element they've got to make it work is they've got a classic one of America's greatest theater actors,
Houseman.
John Houseman, as the driving instructor.
Yeah.
And it's the interplay of his calm and the frenetic action that makes the scene work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you especially need it because this is one of Nielsen's most egregious mugging moments.
Okay.
Like him, like when they apply the gas and then he sort of bends back into the back seat.
Oh yeah.
And his face, I'm like, it's a bit much. It's a bit Ray Bolger in Wizard of Oz.
The one that gets me though
over there, and my other leg's over there.
The one that gets me though is when he starts shooting from the back seat out the window, and it's a perfectly framed shot of the young woman driving the car who keeps looking back as bullets are flying through her front windshield from the car in front of them. And she puts her own window up as she's looking outside. That's very funny.
Yeah, I think the people are doing better work in the front seat than the back seat in the scene.
Yeah. Apply the brakes. Throw it into reverse.
Because she's not overplaying.
Hit the accelerator.
Extend your middle finger.
Yeah.
Normally, you would not be driving
the wrong way.
It's his calm. She's playing it really. She's playing it really.
She's great.
Genuinely.
She's amazing.
Even the truck driver.
Yeah.
Is not kind of like he's just like that was an odd exchange. It's just Curly's in the back going whoop, 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 whoop. I don't know if Curly made that noise or it was one of the others. And the whole the button of this scene is great with it goes full Looney Tunes with the Doctor riding the rocket.
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
And then the explosions, nothing to see here. But again, bigger production values, like more action cinema. This is definitely something you can't do in Police Squad, so it shows that how they know cinema's a different medium.
Yeah.
That needs to be treated differently.
But then they flex that sort of noir muscle with the detective talking to himself, the voiceover as he's walking the streets and thinking about his case.
Although I was just in LA, and like I kind of feel like if you walk more than a few meters off course, you end up in some kind of a jungle in LA.
Yeah.
Like there's some kind of foliage. It's like I was in a metropolitan center not 2 minutes ago,
just a block ago.
Away. Now I'm fighting off a mountain lion in a. Yeah, it's like it kind of neo noir.
Yeah.
And you get the jungle sounds as well, which is the Paramount Library.
It's very funny.
You got an airplane, got in Raiders. It's kind of it's the Wilhelm scream of
the Wilhelm scream of these,
of the Paramount movies.
Where the hell was I?
And he does another one of his quizzical looks.
He does,
it's not quite in the camera, but it has the same flavor as looking in the camera.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have back-to-back looks because he goes home for his. It is pretty funny with his apartment flipping, where he's flipping around in his apartment doing his action star shit.
That's it, like really, really good parody of action movies, and then the kind of the flavor of the day in terms of action movies, erotic thrillers. Like the next scene is full on parody of erotic thrillers, and that feels so of the moment, right? Like I guess we're pre. What are the
we're pre Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
So I think, but we're in a post Fatal Attraction world.
Post Fatal
Attraction.
87. That's 87. Also, Body Heat. I mean, that's neo noir, but this has a lot of body heat in it too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also there's a line in here which again was like, how do they know that these actors are so good at self-parody?
Mm-hmm.
When he says, I saw a picture today, and she said, I was young, I needed the work. And her timing of that, she's straight in with it, and I'm like, God, I mean, there are supposedly comedic actors who wouldn't know to jump on that cue,
right?
And she's right on it. I just thought, how do they know? Like. The casting, the level of casting this movie is incredible.
Well, I also like the exchange of the meat.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm boiling a roast. How hot and wet do you like it? Very hot and awfully wet.
It kind of maybe it's the James Bond of it all, but it kind of feels like something that would legitimately be in a Roger Moore Bond movie, but when he says, let me slip into something more comfortable, and he comes out in a different suit.
There we go.
I was sort of like, I feel like in The Spy Who Loved Me there's a moment like that, probably.
Yeah.
And again, like, not just the cinema of the time, but also responding to what's going on in society with the safe sex.
Yeah.
Thing, it's sort of like there's been this cultural shift which has affected movies of all movies where two strangers have sex now have to involve protection, so they're kind of pouncing on that.
This movie and the Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd Dragnet, those are the first two movies I remember actively bringing up safe sex.
Yeah. And well, I mean, it's sort of behind the Dalton's in The Living Daylights. That he purposefully doesn't sleep with any of the casually sleep with any of the women in the movie on screen for the first time in ever.
Who knows how long?
For the first time in ever, and that was purposeful. They were concerned. They were like, we don't want this to look. I mean. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. A View to a Kill doesn't. I don't think the message was quite there yet. I think it took a couple of years.
Yeah,
and then they just and this kind of goes into a. So they're in the full body condoms, and then it goes into
Needle drop.
A needle drop. Yeah, they take down romantic montages and music videos in one fell swoop.
Yeah, amazing.
Because it's both romantic montages in Hollywood movies like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, or
Sure.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service, or that weird bit in The Omen when it suddenly turns into photographs. Like, fuck's going on here? So I really like it, but combined with, the button on it being that you were in the era of music videos. Where
MTV music videos. So good.
Needle drops need to be credited on screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. So clever. Such a clever button for that. Again, they understand the language of media really well.
Yeah. They understand the media, and then also all the incarnations of the film that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
The detective drama, the hard-boiled thing, the idea of this stakeout with the pistachios.
So these are these chili-covered pistachios?
I know. I was trying to remember that because I don't know if they were chili, but pistachios, back then there used to be this kind of, I think it was just a red dye, but I don't know if they were chili.
Because just so you could prove in a court of law that you'd had a pistachio, was that the idea?
I guess, I don't know.
Like when they put a dye pack in stolen money.
Let's see, red shelled pistachio. What happened to red pistachios? Yeah, they were red dyed.
No added flavor then.
No.
Well, that was pointless.
Completely pointless. I don't know why they were there. But it's funny that have you seen Tequila Sunrise?
No, I have not.
I like that movie, but that's a movie that came out I think just the year before. I think it's an 87 movie. And there's a scene in which Mel Gibson is a kind of a former drug dealer, and he goes to a hotel room. He's trying to help a buddy out. He's like, I'll go along, make sure everything kind of goes okay. But right away, he's like, no, yeah, this isn't good. And he goes out to the stairs, and he looks at the stairs and sees fucking pistachio shells. And he's like, all right, well, we got to get this guy out of this drug deal.
Oh, wow.
Like,
was that before or
really
after
funny.
this?
Right before it. It was like the year before.
Oh, that's hilarious. Because, I mean, the stakeout, I mean, again, that kind of comes, I think, from TV detective drama, the stakeout scene.
Yeah.
Starsky and Hutch were very big on stakeouts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comedian called Bill Bailey who's also a comedian musician, and he kind of plays the music of Starsky and Hutch on a stakeout. And every time it goes back to them in the car, it's like the food gets more elaborate. So it starts out with them eating nuts, and then they're roasting a pig on the spit. So this is that kind of humor, but just how do we make these stakeout exposition scenes more interesting? It's like, well, the snacks produce lipstick. How about that? And then we block the doors with pistachio shells.
Right.
Oh, obligatory American Express reference.
Oh, great.
This era, you couldn't make a movie in this era without including an American Express reference, could you?
The door doesn't take Visa, but it takes American Express.
That's what distinguishes it. Like, we just saw Batman on the big screen, and that has an American Express gag. Transylvania.
Major League
Transylvania 65000's got one too.
Yeah.
Jason Lives got one.
Yeah.
So, you literally couldn't do a movie without the reference, but they do something comedically sound with this. The idea that
who's that dies? Tony Goldwyn? Is that Tony Goldwyn? And
yeah,
number 6. Yeah.
The American, the credit card floating in the pool in the pub.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do something comedically sound with this idea that one card gets you and one doesn't.
Right.
Beautiful, beautifully done. Yeah, and the the next scene I describe as self-inflicted comedy.
Yeah,
it's a vast firstly because the self-playing piano, and it's really funny. He does the Jerry Lewis Nutty Professor thing of when he's scrambling around, he very purposely puts his hand down on the button that he knows that you as the audience know controls the piano. So there's this intentionality to his acting that makes it extra funny.
With his foot in the trash bin of a trash bin on fire.
And, you know, he was... I mean, Nielsen obviously, up until Airplane, was a straight actor, but he always professed a love for silent movie comedy. And I think he tried to crowbar it into these movies as much as possible. Just like kind of silent movie slapstick. And this is a great example of that. Especially, you know, using the soundtrack of the self-playing piano and how they're catching all the expensive... I mean,
the
that feels like something from a Chaplin movie. And I think
But it made me think of our time watching a Pink Panther 2 with Steve Martin.
That's right.
Either the first... I don't remember if it was the first or second.
I think it was the second one. I think it's in the tapas restaurant, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
But I just remember
Flamenco
thinking... Because that goes on for a while, and it's not as funny as this. He's got his hand behind his back. Things are crashing around him, but he's trying to save as many as possible. But just the idea that he drops everything and pulls it down to get himself up to save the painting.
It's
really, really good.
And, you know, the pacing is set by the piano. Like, you go... So you're going with that.
But by the time he gets out onto the ledge, and if you're just paying attention to what's going around and what's around him, when you see the tits and the dicks on the statues...
My next note, tits and dicks.
You know what's going to happen, but you're already laughing just because the statues with tits and dicks is kind of already funny.
It's interesting. I think this is where Airplane definitely does it better, because when you have screen nudity in that movie, you feel like the intent to lampoon. This feels more like part of the system, kind of like the joke is explicitness, not lampooning pornography. It's just pornographic. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a difference there. Listen,
well,
I mean,
the mayor sums it up herself, Nancy Marchand, when she says, "Sexual assault with a concrete dildo." What the fuck is going on here?
That rescues the scene for me. The scene becomes funny when they talk about it in the next scene. When they put it into words, it's funnier than when you see it.
Yeah, that's so good.
Not to mention that. You know, the whole routine about... Well, it's not routine, it's just dialogue. About Frank accidentally shooting 5 Shakespearean actors.
So great.
And
when I see 5 weirdos wearing a toga and stabbing someone, I shoot the bastard. That's my policy.
Yeah.
Those were 5 actors. I love when she says, "You killed 5 actors. Good ones.
That's the bit that always gets me. Like, it would have been fine if they weren't good.
Yeah.
The fact that they're doing Shakespeare is what makes it a tragedy. I love it. It's so, so funny. Yeah. I always thought that there was just one scene in the apartment. I forgot that it was 2.
The expired food bits.
The chunk. Again, like, we talked about this with Airplane and the dials and how, you know, the level of production design you have to go. It's the same here. To get those chunks of milk in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
Simple visual gag, but production values have got to be spot on.
Sure.
And again, you know, sometimes production values help your comedy. And also, one of my favorite gags in the entire movie, just because it's like, just shows you that they leave nothing in this movie to chance, because it's a gag that's in the background, it's out of focus, but it's as well crafted as anything in the movie. It's at the end of the scene,
the
where
cake moving,
the top of the... Is it cake? I always thought it was a piece of cheese.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's cheese.
But it's like, it's just cheese, and it just
moving.
Suddenly starts moving.
It's great.
And what's great is, like, and again, I think this helps Nielsen not do too much as well. He half notices it. There's a sense it's like, I know something's going on back there.
He can hear it, but he doesn't know what's going on. Yeah.
So his reaction is more of curiosity than mugging in that moment. But I just thought, what an amazing touch to end that scene. The scene's over.
Yeah.
And half the people in the movie theater are not going to notice it. It's just wonderful. Like I said, we recently saw Tim Burton's Batman. I don't know if this is the same set as the chemical plant, but boy, does it look like the scene where Joker gets thrown into the toxic waste vat.
But with the hand coming up, I thought to myself, I think Tim Burton was a fan of this film.
Yeah, it's got to be that way around, right? Because it
feels like a direct reference.
I mean, also, it also reminds me, and again, as with American Express and Toxic Waste are the two themes of movies in this period, right? Again, it's like, we're so concerned with toxic waste as a culture, and then not at all.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Just stops.
Like, by 1992, everyone's like, nah, okay,
well.
Where are we break-wise? Do we need to take another break, or...?
I was about to take a break, maybe in another 2 minutes, but why don't we take one now?
Oh, do you want to go up to the baseball game and then take a break?
Nah, let's take one now.
Okay.
That's fine.
I don't like any of my ideas.
That's not true. It was your idea to go to the Batman movies. I liked that idea.
Okay. Thanks.
Done and done. We'll be right back. Right after this.
Home plate.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
I should have made reference to the thing that you said before we started rolling again, but what are you going to do? Sounds like I have Tourette's by saying home plate. I saw a baseball pun and I grabbed it. It didn't matter that no one heard the first part and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. I'll edit that so you sound the worst.
Yeah, you always do. Ably aided by myself, I might add.
Finishing up with the Naked Gun. All right. So we were talking about the shootout. We didn't mention. I like that bit, by the way, when he says the goon starts shooting at him, and he's like, "I can't hear you over that gunfire."
That's very good, very very good. Axis Chemicals. I was trying to remember.
at the Axis Chemicals.
Axis Chemicals.
But then we go to the Queen's reception. She's in L.A. and
this fucking lady, she was in everything.
Yeah,
growing up,
like that was her profession.
I get it. It's one of the best lookalikes ever. I mean, as far as the lookalike community, it's a low bar. I think I've seen some. There's an Elton John guy, and it's like, that's just a fat guy with glasses. That's not Elton John.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. But
you're just dressing him up in the clothes.
And I think it's not just the look. It's the way she obviously has studied the Queen's mannerisms and. My note is, I remember this lady. She was in everything as the Queen when I was growing up. But I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in this scene. My particular favorite is the searches of the guests.
That's
such an amazing comic bit, and again, that double act. Oh, that double act of, and again, the way that joke turns, where it starts with he's just manhandling extras.
Yeah.
I literally puts like an aerial of this woman's butt at one point, and I'm like, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying about in Airplane, where it's like it shouldn't be funny that this woman's being slapped around and this kid nearly gets hit, but it really is, and it's the same here. Like I'm both simultaneously going, you can't treat supporting artists like that,
right? Yeah,
and at the same time going, it's only funny because he's really going for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Neil, I don't think we talked about it, but in Airplane, that moment where he shakes the woman and then slaps her, and someone's like, "Doctor, they need you at the front," and he gets in one more slap before he leaves. It's like the worst possible thing you could have done.
Yeah.
And yet it gets me every time.
Yeah, because it's funny because they're so hands-on and manhandling these fucking people, and then the whole turn of like reaching through the pockets, pulling out Ed's
gun, Ed's wallet.
And then, the whole joke of them beating him up because they think he's with Ed's wife. The fact that Ed's wife is called back as a prostitute in the next movie is fucking amazing too, by the way. But it's like, I hear she's pregnant again. Yeah, I find out the guy who did it.
The guy who did it.
But the best part of the punchline of the bit is the best. And again, George Kennedy's like, when he realizes that the mistake, he's like, no, don't worry, it's fine, Frank, it's fine. That is why that level of comic acting is just what makes this perfect, and the fact that they're working together and the joke goes back and forth and then it ends on this note, and it's not like Nielsen doesn't need the punchline, right? He's the star of the movie,
right.
But it's funny if George Kennedy gets the punchline, if he's sort of like, if he realizes the joke that Frank
he gives one of Frank's looks where he pieces it togetit's
But also, then he's back to the audience surrogate again, because he's figured it out in the way that the audience figured it out, and it's so brilliantly done.
There's another bit, that's my favorite bit, but when Frank goes up and starts talking to Jane and Montalban, did you notice that, because Jane's already eating a piece of cake?
Yes.
And then Frank takes a piece of cake, and they both have an eye. Yes. An eye of the queen. Mm-hmm. I really love that.
Yeah, it's a really good sequence. And then we're at the baseball. Then we go out to the ball game.
Yeah. Well, first he breaks up with Jane too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
By the way, I faked every orgasm.
I saw a less good version of that joke once. In a Scottish TV sketch show where it was like a man and a woman having sex underneath bed covers. And then the woman goes, "Hang on, you're faking orgasms." And she pulls off the sheets and he's got this giant, laundry liquid bottle. And he's just kind of going like that. Like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Not as good, huh? This was the same TV sketch show that I remembered how to joke about Freddy Krueger wiping himself in the bathroom with his blade fingers and kind of coming out the store like, all bloody.
Of course.
Quality Scottish humor.
Well, along those lines, Frank ends up kind of accidentally jumping and humping the queen. So he gets fired.
That's right. Yeah, he gets.
Did you notice him? One, they have a good little bit there when he's like packing up his desk.
I have that note. Yeah, packing up the desk. Yeah,
it has the bit about whatever that evidence was from the case. I can't remember. Frankly, he went to the chair 2 years ago, Frank.
And the seeding of a kind of running gag of him shooting people that he shouldn't shoot.
That he shouldn't shoot.
It comes back in each of the movies. I mean, at the beginning of the next movie, because he's getting that award from Bush, and he's like, it later turned out he was a drug dealer.
There was something that happened during this pack up your desk scene that I'd never noticed before, though, because he's sitting there, he's talking with George Kennedy and doing all of that, but then they're like, I think his back is turned to you. Somebody else in that room. At one point, he's like packing all his shit into that box. And one guy goes, Frank, that's not your desk. and then in walks Priscilla Presley.
Amazing.
So good.
Really well done. Yeah, so baseball game, I mean, obviously it's there as your kind of big finale set piece.
Mm-hmm.
Your kind of Hitchcockian event set piece, I suppose.
Right.
And again, putting sports in, they're very good at putting sports in the movies, and you get to have real sports commentators, real athletes.
And Joyce Brothers.
And Joyce Brothers, and and Lawrence Tierney between benders.
Right?
It's so funny, like he appears in so many movies in this era for seconds on screen.
Yeah.
And knowing that he was a drunk, it all makes sense. Like, they could only get a day of work out of him, and it's got to be the reason. He's able to work, but for no significant period of time.
Did you know all the commentators? Probably not.
No, but again, they don't exclude me from the gag because it's also a commentary on how over elaborate sports commentary has become.
Yeah.
And a joke at the expense of people like O.J. Simpson as well, right? I mean, it's sort of like this is a cluttered field.
Yeah.
There's too many people.
I always just love seeing Mel Allen there because he used to have a weekend show called This Week in Baseball, and he'd kind of cap the week.
Is he the gray-haired guy?
He's the guy that says, "How about that?"
I see the guy at the end who said, "I'm so sorry I shouted at you. I'm so sorry I yelled at you."
No, that's on the other end.
That's amazing.
He's sitting next to Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Okay.
But he keeps saying, "How about that?" Because that's what he would say in the show and This Week in Baseball.
How about that Queen?
He'd show a double play. How about that?
Amazing.
So
and
good.
again, they get a lot of comic mileage out of the royal box at the baseball game.
Yes.
These
The guys sitting in there.
Yeah, comedic collisions. It reminds me of like what Krusty says about Sideshow Bob. It's like, it's the dignity. That's what makes it funny. As in having the Queen passing the hot dogs and having to take those two, guys out of the seat.
The two weirdos.
Yeah.
Because that happens to every baseball game you go to.
Yeah.
There is always someone sitting in your fucking seat, and you have to say, "That's not your seat, that's my seat." "No, I'm pretty sure it's my seat." "No, you're the next section over."
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows how to sit down at a baseball game.
The first time I went, I was that person. The second time, I had a slightly different problem in that they didn't want to let me in with a bag the size of a kind of a square, like a small square bag. They didn't want to let me in with it. And then, I was like, well, I can take everything out of it and show you what's in it.
Yeah.
And put it back in. And eventually they were like, well, you're here with a kid, so rules are different, but you will normally be able to bring this. I was like, okay. And then I sat down, and literally, as we sat down, a guy came next to me, had a laundry bag, a full laundry bag on his person. I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. And I was like, unless you paid for another ticket for your bag, there is some serious discrepancy in the guidelines here.
What the fuck is happening? Maybe they just say that to everyone for every bag. Normally, I wouldn't let you bring in this laundry bag, but you're here by yourself, and you probably had to do some laundry. Come on in, come on in.
Comes in with a body bag with a corpse in it. Now, normally I wouldn't let you bring a corpse in, but
Joe Pesci's 8 heads for his duffel bag.
Enrico Palazzo.
Amazing.
Not a real opera singer, I'm assuming.
Nope.
But this was the era when pop opera was big, right? Opera singers.
Because it was like the 3 tenors, or maybe we're not quite to the 3 tenors yet. I don't remember.
I think the 3 tenors are gaining some. They're definitely gaining some traction. I think. What's the name of that guy? Is it Bocelli? Has he started? Andre Bocelli? The guy who did that one pop opera song with na 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 na, the one that Carmela Soprano's coming in her panties over, and
all right,
because he associates it with the contractor she has an affair with.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and this is again like I would just say it's a Hitchcockian set piece. I guess the other equivalent is like Marx Brothers. Like, Night at the Opera or Day at the Races would have these big, elaborate kind of set pieces at events.
Yeah.
That was just like a playground for them to do comedy out of. And this is kind of how Nielsen's treating it here, with the sort of punching out of Enrico Palazzo and tying him up and redressing himself and then singing the national anthem badly.
Singing the national anthem is really good.
Had Roseanne done her national anthem by... No, it's too early for that, right?
I think it's too early.
Because I wondered whether that was a reference.
Lots of bombs in the air. I always think it's weird, by the way, that at that time, California Angels are clearly playing at Dodger Stadium.
Ah, okay. Well, I wouldn't... You see, that I wouldn't have
It's
noticed.
not the level of knowledge you have.
Although weirdly, I went past the Angel Stadium again this week.
Yeah.
I've seen most, but that doesn't feature in the movie. Okay, so that's not a set from the movie, not like the boobs.
Right.
So it's really interesting that like they even managed to get comedy out of people looking at a jumbotron.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like there's these kind of there's no dead moments, no dead time in these movies.
Yeah, right.
Partly because
Those
they're so
bits
short.
about like the guy sliding into second and getting attacked by a tiger
Yeah.
and that kind of shit, getting run over by a car.
Yeah, exactly. And then Maltabun eats finger dogs.
Yeah, that was so random. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, well, also it's like,
It's a little commentary on hot dogs.
but what a good actor Ricardo Montalban is, because he spells out everything in that scene that you need him to without
Right.
any words. Again, it goes back to the Wrath of Khan and him and Shatner are giving great performances. It's not too much at all.
No.
I hope you're doing okay. Actually, when is this coming out? I know William Shatner was rushed to hospital today, so I hope he's.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's out, and he's already on social media saying,
All good?
rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated with a AI image of him with a Mark Twain mustache. So I think he's doing okay.
All right. Yeah, he seems in good spirits.
And then he berated George Takei, and we were like, "Oh, Shatner's back." No, he didn't.
Back to normal.
He didn't do that. Oh, there's a moment in here where we sort of see the birth of gross out humor in American cinema, the spitting montage.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the best. I was like, it's really funny. Then it stops being funny, and it just becomes disgusting to watch, and you can't look at it anymore. And it's
But
like,
in that way,
I
it's a
wonder if-
commentary on actual baseball
Right.
players, because that's like what they do all game long.
all athletes of soccer players are the fucking worst. They have a thing. It's even more disgusting. They block one nostril and then they shoot phlegm out of the other nostril.
Yeah.
And it's no one needs to do that. You're not exerting yourself to the level where you need to do that.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you're backed up. I've done that occasionally on a walk.
Okay.
Like,
It's
I need to
It's
breathe.
performative, It's like the soccer players do now, where they rip their own new socks because they claim the socks are too tight. Anyway, but I just wonder whether there was like the two baby Farrelly brothers in the audience, like,
Yeah.
I could
My
make
bit-
a
the bit
whole
that I-
movie out of this.
The bit I like the most are the called strikes.
Oh yeah,
Like, he doesn't know what to do with the first one. Then he calls a strike happily on the second one. Then he's calling a strike before the pitch even crosses the plate.
the comedy.
Because
Yeah,
he realized he can get attention off of it.
well, the comedy totally shifts, right? It becomes sort of like sports fantasy in this moment.
Yeah.
Because he's enjoying being the umpire and
Right.
having the power. And, it's like fantasy camp, like literally, and the real life players are all around. So it's a double fantasy camp. And, you've got Randy Newman singing what he's seeing,
Right?
just like looking at LA and writing a song about it.
Sure.
I love LA. You're gonna eat an apple.
Meanwhile, he's
It's
just
it's kind of like it becomes
patting down by baseball players.
And the tone is very feel good, right? It's like the movie just kind of sheds its cynicism for these moments with the Randy Newman song montage, and there's not even like there's jokes, but it's not like it's all in good fun.
Well, the maybe the happy song is to mask all the sexual assault he's committing against every baseball player that comes.
Well, the
across his
previous
path.
scene warmed us up to that possibility at the very least.
Yeah.
And we recently did Ghoulies 3,
Yeah.
where there was a Dustbuster sex
4
toy
years
joke.
ago, before the Mission Impossible series.
And where Dustbuster made an appearance in the bedroom, and here Dustbuster again, like
Yeah. Very popular.
sucking up the sand on the plate. I just sort of thought like it kind of vindicated what we said then about it. So you just put a Dustbuster in a movie and you get a laugh.
Yeah.
This was the time for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a few years later it would be a George Foreman grill. I think if you put the George Foreman lean mean grilling machine in a movie,
Yeah, right.
although I just watched the King of the Hill episode with George Foreman is guest starring, and he's demonstrating his grilling machine at a mall, and then Hank comes up to him and they have a great conversation, and then just as he's leaving, it's like, if you want to purchase the lean mean grilling machine for Strickland Propane, just let me know. It's like, oh yeah, we don't take novelty grills. And he's like, novelty grill. Yeah, and then bloopers and fights.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. I mean, some of this is it'll be, I guess, funnier the more you know about baseball. Umpires are notoriously vain people, and they don't want their balls and strikes argued against, that kind of thing. And so when you get into the thing where he's trying to delay the game so he's not calling any strikes at all, and then actively pursuing a base runner and trying to throw people out, but by the time he gets to the point where he's throwing other umpires out of the game, it actually seems to fit more for baseball and umpires as they are today right now than even back then.
Interesting.
It's like the joke has grown to be even funnier.
Or that they're embodying the parody of what they are.
Yeah.
Which happens in politics and.
But all of that's just to get to Reggie Jackson being called in to be the murderer.
Yeah, celebrity assassin.
Yeah.
And again, another athlete performance in a Zucker movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, there's a little bit of, I think, with the large woman falling down from the stands. Yeah. Some sizist sexist comedy that doesn't necessarily need.
That was the one part where I thought, okay, well, that was still game, I guess, in 1988, and you guys fell for it, but
yeah. I mean, there's also, there's the gay sex gag earlier on in the scene as well with the. Although it kind of works better when the janitor finds him.
Oh yeah.
Hogtied, Enrico Palazzo hogtied when Drebin's taken down
his pants.
And I was like, kind of the fact that he's hogtied kind of saves it.
Right before that, I like that there's a little moment. It's one of those blink and you miss it. But when Priscilla Presley is talking to Montalban, she's like, "How can you be so cruel?" And he says, "Oh, you forget I spent 2 years as a building contractor."
That's great. I also love the dummy of her as he runs.
That's very funny. And you know what? Maybe I noticed this before in the past and just forgot about it, but I'm always so focused on her and the doll being shaken around that I this time I noticed that it's like clearly a man in a wig pretending to be Montalban too.
Exactly, it's not.
And that was just as funny.
I think basically they kind of made lemonade over the fact that those two actors weren't available that day and turned it into a really good comic bit. But what kind of again? I like the woman falling is not funny and never was, but
the fans saying it's Enrico Palazzo.
Yes, that's what saves it. I was like. Yeah,
that's such a great save.
It's so funny because you're like, oh yeah, they don't know he's Frank Drebin. They think he's really Enrico Palazzo. and
never fails to get a laugh from me.
Yeah, and it all the other thing that it reminds me of is all the jokes work in world.
Yeah,
and that again, I bet you watch Scary Movie and you're like, none of these jokes work in world.
Right.
It's incredible how many what I call satellite jokes you can get out of one moment in this movie. Because the whole when Ricardo Montalban falls off
goes over the top, right?
He goes over the top and then he gets there's the whole thing about he's going to be
How many ways can he get trampled?
And there's the woman who's like, you killed him. He's like, he's probably not dead. And then, he's clearly getting killed in so many different ways. And then the marching band come over him.
The elephant,
playing Louie.
The steamroller, the USC marching band, yeah.
And just when you think there isn't another joke that you can squeeze out of this set piece, George Kennedy's like,
Kennedy turns around.
My father went the same way. Tears in his eyes. And again, he gets the quizzical look from Leslie Nielsen. Yeah. So just like, I don't know, did they challenge themselves to write as many possible jokes about one...
Right,
like one incident in a movie.
Yeah. How many can we get out of it?
And again, The Simpsons picked up on that for the Mayor Quimby's nephew. With the Clouseau waiter guy who keeps the chowder.
Chowder, it's pronounced chowder.
And we go back to the Jumbotron for a moment.
Because I think a marching band member,
everyone in the stadium
is watching
arena?
Jane about to kill him.
Is it a stadium or arena?
Stadium.
I was right. Okay. Sounded right. In the stadium, everyone's watching, and it's just it's kind of how big the canvas has kind of become in the movie. We're taking into account everyone in the crowd watching all this happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously the montage of the following the kiss, where everyone's reuniting.
Yeah.
Including, dogs and male workers. That again reminds me of that Simpsons episode with the newspaper headline, Ants and Picnickers Call Last Minute Truce. Yeah, and then we get to enjoy seeing O.J. Simpson...
push down the stairs.
Yeah, push down. It's so funny that I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that moment appears in Made in America as well. They show that.
I don't think so.
Moment. Just because it's great. I mean, it's great dummy work as well.
Very funny, yeah.
It flips over about 3 or 4 times in the air. I mean, that can't be easy to do. Hope there's no one in there. Hope there isn't a midget in there. With its tits out.
Keeping the weight distributed?
With its tits out.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll most likely be okay.
And that's the end of our movie.
I like the button that Presley says when she says, everyone should have a friend like you, Frank.
Yeah, and this
right after he's pushed him upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. You got a credit check for us?
I wouldn't be a professional credit checker if I didn't.
I'll say.
Man and woman deleted from fireworks scene. Accredited. So I love that it's a commentary on how movies work behind the scenes. It's acknowledging there are scenes that are cut for this movie and some people who are in the movie were cut. But it's actually also a kind thing to do, right? Give them credit, even though the scene was cut. Also, a breakthrough in under 5 crediting of having actors distinguished by the line that they say.
The line they say? So funny.
And I don't think anyone else has done this, have they? But it seems like the best possible way to identify under 5s, right? In movies. Including, it's Enrico Palazzo.
It's Enrico Palazzo, yeah.
People are just going up to him in the street going, Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo. Yep. Yeah, it's funny. It also this is where the language of the comedy credits evolves another step. So it's a commentary on the practices of end credits while doing the real thing. So you have jokes like Thug number 27.
Yeah.
And also, add Weird Al Yankovic, and then they add the nickname Weird to a few other names randomly as well. And then I think one of my favorites, Mr. Weiss's divorce attorney. And I don't know if it's his real attorney, but I like I mean, that goes to what, again, that's something that's truer now than it was then, of like extraneous crediting of people not involved in the movie at all, but
Right.
you know, only in a satellite capacity to people involved in the movie, like when you see people's publicists credited. And then I love and this again feels like sort of a behind the scenes in joke. In case of tornado, southwest corner basement. That's probably really where they had to go in a fire drill.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right.
No thanks to Paramount Plus cutting off the credits for me once again, making me have to find it on YouTube.
YouTube? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
People put end credits on YouTube. It's an odd thing, but I'm glad they do. Otherwise,
You couldn't finish your credit check.
yeah, the Paramount Plus is the worst possible platform. I'm getting it for free, so I can't complain. But I don't quite know how I'm getting it for
This
free.
problem you keep having is not a problem I keep having on Paramount Plus. I think it's something they reserve just for you.
Well, it's obviously because I'm on whatever the free version is.
Yeah.
So, which means that it's like, well, since it's free,
Take what you get, mister.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a good movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, the question is, should we rank it against its own series and whether or not...
just its own series.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to say whether... I would say Airplane's probably better anyway.
Oh,
but-
Airplane is definitely better. Yeah.
So...
Yeah, Airplane is in a league.
For
of its
me,
own.
really, the only question... What's that?
Baseball it's in a Airplane is in a league of its own. Baseball reference. I suppose it's a league of their own, but is League of Its Own a pre-existing phase in baseball before
No.
the movie?
Mm-mm.
So it's just the movie.
Yeah.
People use that phrase a lot now, and it's all just because of that movie.
Oh... No, maybe that is a phrase before...
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is a phrase before that.
Okay.
Yeah. Variations on it.
Yeah, I think
Is this the best of the series? To me, it's only is this or 2.5 better?
Yeah, I mean, it is for me too. So full disclosure, and I'll talk more about this when we do the reboot of Naked Gun
Mm-hmm.
at some point in the future.
Literally, the other day, Tom, I mean, I'm talking yesterday, late, I thought to myself, wait, we can't do Naked Gun because we should do that for Patreon because we have the original and the reboot.
Mm.
And it took me about 4 seconds before I went, nope, not a reboot. Readjust your thinking.
Yeah, you know that kind of weird kid with the grey wig at the end of 33 of the Third? That's Liam Neeson. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So after I watched that movie, I watched in like 48 hours. I watched all the Naked Gun movies and all the Police Squad back to back.
Wow, nice.
So I actually, unusually, I have a recent point of comparison, and
I don't.
I'm trying so hard because I don't. Yeah, like 2.5 goes down so easy.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's quite as accomplished.
really?
I think I might prefer some of the jokes.
Yeah, that's where I'm stuck. Is that I think I remember. I don't know.
I always thought it was the better movie.
What, 2.5?
Yeah, but nah.
I feel like I owe a watch before I make my decision, but
I couldn't possibly watch those movies again, even if I wanted to at this stage. I've seen them all so many times in the past few years. I'm going to go with my gut and say I think just Naked Gun is a better movie.
all right.
Just. There's not as much in it as people think there is. But also, I think it is more. I think it is more accomplished. I think there is, there's more to this than 2.5, even though if you go joke by joke, I'd rank some of the jokes in 2.5
Higher,
above
yeah.
this. Yeah. but not the whole movie. I don't think.
All right. I think that you're probably right, but just to be
It's the nicest thing you've
contrarian,
ever said to me.
I'll say 2.5 is better.
And then you pulled it all away. No, I mean, I think someone. I was continually impressed by the hit rate of jokes
Yeah.
in the first two. The third, not so much, but I mean, it still has a pretty good average. But the first two Naked Gun movies, the hit rate of jokes is it's astounding. Most comedy movies couldn't even dream of that hit rate.
Does what's his name have that? He thrust his purple love missile into her mound of love pudding.
Yeah. and in that movie, you've got George Kennedy with the dildo, with the mechanical dildo
Yeah.
in the store. He turns it and goes, "Oh!" and then puts it.
Isn't he holding a dildo when he says, "When I catch the guy who did it"?
I don't think he's holding a dildo, no.
Damn.
I wish he was. Yeah, I think this is slightly more organic. I think that's what I'm going off. The comedy is slightly more organic, but I mean, we've talked about this before. Nothing beats the zoo animal escape running
funny.
gags. The giraffe running down.
Giraffe
the street.
running, so good. I just rewatched Gremlins 2, so I got myself some giraffe running.
You got a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Gremlins 2. Did it hold up?
Yeah, it's still funny.
That's good to know. Yeah. That's one of those movies that, when I think back, I'm like, did I give this movie a fair shake? And I think I did.
Yeah.
I want to go back to I do want to go back. I don't know if we can plan future episodes around this, but I do want to go back to the Jaws series. I'm suddenly have an urge to see Jaws 2 again and reevaluate it.
Maybe that can be a Patreon
Yeah.
revisit.
Yeah. Jaws 2 revisited. I just saw the Jaws exhibition this week at the Academy Museum. Which
You sent me a lot of pictures.
Not half as many as I could have done. I don't want to spoil anything for you.
All right. It was nice.
But, you got to get yourself there.
Yeah.
I spent about 2.5 hours in that gallery.
I bet.
Mostly watching the film, but nonetheless. You could watch about a third of the film as you go around.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I don't know any other exhibition like that. It's a scene-by-scene exhibition of Jaws.
Oh, okay.
So
I love it. All right. Anything left for you on this film?
No.
Okay,
Once
good.
again, we're deep into our tangents once again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I guess all that's left is to hear from you. Not on the last episode, but for this episode, it's okay. So find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, Blue Sky. What did I miss?
YouTube, Patreon,
Oh, yeah, Patreon. That makes the most sense.
and I didn't listen to the rest.
No, of course not. Why would you?
X? Did you say X?
I said X.
Oh, God.
That's the second time in a row you didn't think I said X.
I don't know what happens to my brain when you use the letter X. I don't hear it.
I don't think you hear any of it. You just shut the boo woo 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 woo.
It is. I mean, if I'm gonna pick a moment to power down,
Now, yeah.
it's gonna be something I've heard, hundreds of
1,000
times.
times.
Yeah. At least I'm listening to what you're saying about the individual movies most of the time.
I'm not sure that's entirely true, but
It's money corner gets a bit foggy.
yeah. See, beginning and end. Hopefully
Beginning
you're
and end.
listening in the middle.
Yeah, that's it. Peak in the middle.
Or send an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com. You check our email, right?
I do.
Okay, good.
There was a court summons the other day for you. I just deleted it. I didn't think you were...
That sounds about right.
I didn't think you'd be interested in that. Something about deportation and...
Not paternity?
The paternity ones, I don't even open them. I just immediately...
Delete.
Yeah. One of them had a little, like a baby picture. It was alarming. Had a pair of glasses and a beard. I was like, ooh.
I just typed back.
Good luck proving this wasn't you.
And you just type back, semen doesn't work.
Modern sperm.
Yeah.
Semen doesn't work. That's your defense?
So far as they know.
That's like the Hank Hill narrow urethra defense.
Or send an email. Did I already say that?
I don't
think
know.
I did.
I think if we've learned anything in this episode, and we haven't, we've learned I am not listening to you when you're rounding up the social media.
All right, Gmail. If I didn't say it,
you must have done because you asked me if I checked the email.
Yeah, right. That was the biggest clue.
Well, I do run a detective agency. In my mind.
All right, I think we know what we're doing next month, but we can't tell you yet, so...
Yeah, you don't deserve to know.
$10. Thanks for the money, by the way.
Yeah, $10 pays for the episode, doesn't pay for knowledge.
Yeah.
You want to? It's going to be a Tommy Moto on the dock situation if you want to know more.
Can I borrow $20? All right, go to the regular feed. We're talking about the Nightmare series starting. Will this be out before or after Monday? After.
This will be so we'll have started. We'll have ranked them.
All right. Go there. We got good stuff going for you. And come back next month. We'll be talking 2 new episodes. I don't know about 2 new movies, but
we'll
2
see.
new episodes. So look forward to that. Thank you. We love our Patreon listeners. All right. For Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, Michael Shantz here of the How Dare You Awards. We will be back. Say goodbye to them, Tom.
It's a topsy-turvy world, and maybe the problems of 2 people don't amount to a hill of beans, but this is our hill, and these are our beans. I know those lines were meant as a joke, but I appreciate them unironically. Like, I can see myself expressing these sentiments to someone. Like,
very much so, yes.
It's like, it's philosophically
sound.
Apt. Yes, It's a philosophically sound statement, right? There are starving children in the world, but I'd like to make out with you.
The hills and the beans, you'll die on that hill.
And these are our beans. When they wrote these lines in Casablanca, I don't know if they'd ever imagined they'd be massacred in this way.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. Oh no, I've lost him. He'll come back.
Oh, he's frozen.
He'll be unfrozen in a moment. I'm sure I'm frozen for him. I might have time for a drink of water. Oh no, I lost him completely.